So, if you're wondering how the story actually began, this is how it begun. So, first, introducing the ability. Spark is an electrical attack that paralyzes. This is ice, freezes an enemy, and after you freeze it, there's an ice cube and you can toss it. Sword, of course, you have known. Kirby is brave when he has a sword. Parasol, take a nice walk for a short break. It's also very good for swinging against enemies. And Fireball can be useful for charging against enemies. When the big enemy is defeated, eat him. And there's Backdrop. Backdrop would be introduced later on, but there are 6 moves that you can actually beat enemies with. So here's how the story begun. One day, the peaceful life of Dreamland was shattered by a mysterious crisis. The inhabitants didn't dream. On the edge of Dreamland, dreams and hope once gushed forth from the Dream Spring, fueled by the Star Rod. Investigating the Dream Spring, Kirby found naughty King Dedede swimming in its magical waters. Dedede had broken the Star Rod and given the pieces to his friends, who are now hiding in Dreamland. To bring back their lost dreams, Kirby sought the Star Rod. So that's how the story has started. So now you know so now you know how the story begun. So here we are on level 1, and remember that we have completed 2 levels in the last part. So in this part we're going to do level stages 3 and 4. And I really love the song of level 1, but my most favorite song in the game is not level 1's theme. It's actually in the very late level. You may be thinking it is level 7, but it is not. There are only well actually, now that I think about it, there is not only 7 levels in the game. And if you saw me dying right there, it was just because of the tiny cliff. And why can't I even spit on those blocks right there? So here's Beam. Of course I've explained it to you. Beam is an attack where you can attack from high and low distances. And I already told you that what it was like. That's what it looks like. I haven't talked a lot, so it may take me a little bit to get used to the talking thing. There's Fireball, the one that I talked to you about in the title screen. And it is pretty useful because it will let you avoid cliffs and spikes if you use it. And no, there's not a special way of using it. You just press 1, and just press 1 into there as well. And here's the first time being introduced of being underwater. You just press 1 to sprout water, and then that's pretty much it. It's just like an attack, but instead well, it's sort of like fire, but except it's water against water enemies. Land enemies can't survive underwater since they can't swim, which is very stupid, but in later games they actually can swim. Well, on floaties, some of them can. That was cool. It glitched. Look at that. I did not know that. It showed invisible enemies. It's just because this game is very old, but I didn't think it would be that old. I didn't think the glitch would actually happen. And crap, I didn't even know I got hurt there. So that's already the completion of the level. I'm pretty sure the stages in this level would only last like 2 minutes minimum. Probably like 1 minute if you are trying to do a speed run in this game. But really it won't even take that long to complete each stage. So this is a museum that I just came in. It is a colorful display of enemies with special abilities. Eat the one you want. So far there's only Sword, although we have encountered Beam, Fire, Fireball, and Sword. So, let's go with Sword. I have a feeling we might need this for the boss, because the boss is not... Well, the boss is coming near. And I don't like this level at all. The last time I tried this level, I ended up having a huge pain, and I would have to dodge the enemies like crazy. And here's the mini boss. His name is Mr. Seal, if you wanted to know more about him. He releases an ability called Ice. Actually, it's called Freeze. I actually didn't know about that. Freeze is another ice ability, but except you create a barrier for yourself, except for Gordos, and you can freeze enemies like that. Even attacks won't work. That is if they're not, like, fire attacks or something. To explain more about it, this is what it is. Kirby can create a shield to freeze enemies. He can then knock away the frozen blocks. Why it doesn't show the special things that you can do with abilities is because you can only press 1 for now. And in later games you can actually press the 1 button but also press something else. Darn it. What ability that I missed right there was called Needle. And Needle is actually a pretty good ability. It creates a shield like Freeze does. And instead of it freezing enemies, it will hurt them. Which is pretty cool. Explaining more about it, this is what it is. Lots of needles, just like a porcupine's, come out of Kirby. It's a great defense. This is what it looks like. It only lasts like 3 seconds, while Freeze, the barrier, lasts more than that. But I really like this ability anyways, because even if you jump, it would still be active. And it can break blocks. Freeze doesn't. That's what also makes it useful. And here is an odd thing about... Look at that. Meta Knight actually came by. Yeah, that's what the guy's name is. And you may be wondering if I'm actually going to battle the boss in this level. Of course not, because every level 1 does not include Meta Knight. It includes what you would know as a tree boss, at which in the next part we're going to battle that boss since we ran out of time. Or maybe I might be able to do it. Let's see. Since the boss is actually very short, this is what the boss is. His name is Wispy Woods. He's a tree boss that actually blocks your way unless you beat him. I wonder if Wispy Woods actually has a gender. I'm not sure. So that's it. That's all you have to do to beat Wispy Woods. You can use an ability, but I'm planning to do normal abilities since there will be something very special right after you defeat the final boss. So there's Ice Cream Island, and if you missed that was actually pretty funny. He was dreaming about food, and then that last dream he had was about Waddle-Doo swinging him with a hammer, making him mysterious. Well, making him just wander around questing questioningly, and now he's just going on. So in the next part, we're going to do stage 1 of level 2. We're already on stage 1 of level 2. This is the second video. I would tell you, this Let's Play wouldn't be long at all. That's why I was playing it to be at least 10 minutes. 10 and a half maybe. So I'll see you guys then.